Hi everyone, this is Terence Tan, the I'm Possible Investor. Market went through another day again of whipsaws and ups and downs. So what do you need to do again, all right, in a market condition like right now? Because I'm sure many of you are really afraid. You are scared to your wits' end and have clearly no idea what the market is doing right now. So let me bring to light to your attention over here what you must know, what you must be prepared for when you're actually looking to trade the current markets right now. So market did a surprise interest rate reduction in the US yesterday. It came basically out of the blue over here for most investors who are playing the marketplace. But if you have watched my earlier videos, I did mention that this is definitely something in the cards that the Feds will need to think about, and they officially did it. Yeah, all right now. So, but the problem now is not them cutting the rates. The problem is actually them cutting the rates, and the market did not react according to what they wanted the market to do. Right? That means usually in a rate cut, that means monetary easing policies over here, you should see a jump in the market because it should be treated as what we call a positive news or a positive reaction. All right, yes, we got it. The S&P 500 did a quick jump over here to about 3,100 level, but that was quickly erased. All right, and we actually finished the day lower by about 2.5%, almost close to 3% over here on the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq again. Yeah, right now. So there's continued fear in the market. Like what I said, we had a dead cat bounce yesterday. All the short sellers were chased out of the markets, but they were back in play today. All right, okay, so that's what we're seeing right now. And the major rallies, which are the technologies and the financial stocks yesterday, were also the one leading the sell-off. All right, they were the ones charging up 2 days ago. All right, but they are also the ones leading the sell-off in yesterday market's scenario. Right now, so if you're looking for trading opportunities over here, this is perhaps the setup over here where you go out there, hunt the really good bargains in terms of the big cap stocks, the ones that are really great, right? That offers a lot of risk protection over here, right? And selling at severely undervalued price or severely discounted prices, right? Now, how do you structure them? What do you look for over here? I'll be discussing when I go over to my computer screen later in this video, right? So I'll see you soon. Right, welcome back everyone now. So what you're seeing on my screen right now is the SPX chart, which is just the S&P 500 index. So we closed yesterday right at the 3,000 point level, and that's pretty much a whole number level, which is always an attraction point when it comes to traders. Now, so what I just want to highlight over here is you're now looking at what we call the 1 year daily chart. So we are at what we call a very sensitive point in the market right now because you're seeing the 20-day moving average cutting below the 50-day moving average, all right? But the prices have since rebounded, all right, to the 200-day moving average line, all right? So we have not got what we call the golden crossover, right? Where, you know, on a longer term basis, if the 50 starts to cross the 200-day, right, then we're going to have much more serious problems in terms of the selling coming in, right? But right now, you can see there are many bounces, right, that is back to the 200-day level, all right, and then we actually resume the uptrend after that, right? Is it going to happen this time around? I have absolutely no idea, right? But each time it happened, all right, you'll also see the 20-day cutting below the 50, right, before turning up, all right, and then resuming the uptrend. Will it be the same case this time? All right, only time can tell us over here, right? But I say we are at a sensitive point because if we look at the longer term time frame over here, right, and we move the chart into a weekly time frame, all right, we are only seeing what we call a slight downturn, all right, in the 20-week moving average over here, all right. So the the index is now touching the 50-week moving average, but we are still way off, all right, the 200-week moving average, right? You can see we did touch it briefly in 2019, right, but we did bounce off it and reverse, right? But other than that, we have never come close to the 200-week moving average line, all right. And even amidst this sell-off, all right, we actually have not gotten anywhere close to that, right? So what you can say is there's a really quick reversion to mean over here where, you know, the whole index exploded upwards exponentially away from the 50-day moving average, and now the magnet has attracted it all the way back, right, such that it's touching close to that again, right? This is a repeated pattern, all right? The only thing you can't tell when is when it's going to come back to the median point, right? And in recent market terms, it has just started to take much longer before it actually does that, right? So you can't really trade on that, but you know, it kind of tells you that in the long term, right, market's bullishness is actually still intact. Yeah, all right. So short-term correction phase, right? Long-term still in a bullish trend is the right way to describe what we're seeing now, right? But yesterday is what we see in the market, full sell-off day, right? It's already past the reset time, all right? So we can see what happened yesterday night, right? But yesterday was basically a full sell-off in the S&P 100, right? Which means all 100 stocks were actually in the red, right? But it was the financial stocks over here that was leading the sell-off. We had BAC, we have American Express, right? We have COF, which is Capital One Financial, all right, which led the sell-off, where all the three stocks dropped by 6% and more just in yesterday's market itself. Right now, so let's go on to the opportunities, and I want to highlight where you can look for some good opportunity plays over here. Now, first, let me go back to the screener. All right, so screener is something that our community has built and developed over here for the use of our investors. Right, it makes things easy for them. Right now, so I just want to highlight some really good opportunities that I would be viewing and identifying for some option sales maybe tonight or actually over the span of this week itself. Now, so this is definitely a time to go to the basics over here, which means you want strong sectors or what we call defensive sectors over here. Right, so this is not a time to play with the fancy companies, fancy stocks, right, but stick with the basics. Right now, and one of the basic companies that are on our list over here is consumer staples, right, and that's definitely SYY, which is Cisco Corp. Right, okay, now Cisco Corp is definitely one stock that my investors in the community has traded a long time now, has made a lot of money from it. All right, and we stopped for a little bit, and now we can actually start coming back to it. Right now, why do I say that? Because if you go ahead and look at the charts right now, all right, we had the exponential move in SYY. All right, all the way from 62 levels all the way up towards 84. All right, so that's definitely a sign of overvaluation. All right, but big cap stocks always have a way of coming back to mean over here. All right, and this sell-off has brought it back down to earth, and now it's sitting at about $68 levels. Right now, so $68 levels is almost a 1-year low over here that we are seeing. Right, so the last time it touched this price was actually in August 2019. Right, and now it's definitely sitting at the right same location and areas again. Right, so I'm actually going to be looking to scalp a short-term expiry on this stock over here if we get another sell-off day in the markets. All right, and I'm going to be looking for opportunities to get some good premiums over here for maybe a 64 strike or something lower than that. All right, for a decent return. All right, so this is something you look at over here, and it actually took me less than 5 minutes to do that. Now, why am I so confident in terms of going ahead with this company? All right, it's actually not too difficult a case to build over here, because one thing we look at fundamentally in our stocks is definitely the sales revenue that the company brings about. So this is SYY over here, right? And simply from Morningstar, we are charted or given the revenue sales from 2010 all the way to 2019, right? And you can see what the company has done over the last 10 years, right? It's not a fancy company, consumer staples, right? But it's done something really incredibly, which is actually from 10 years ago, right, to where it is right now, is more or less almost close to double their sales revenue and income. Right now, I think that's a fantastic feat over here, right? And that's definitely a company where we can expect, if they continue to do so over here, all right, that the stock price will continue to escalate. Right now, moving on a little bit, all right, just some other quick scalping opportunities that you can look at. Right, the real estate sector in the US, all right, has been sold off really, really hard. But you have to recognize that now with lower interest rates, it's actually much cheaper to continue buying houses, which home buying is actually on an uptrend in the American community right now. So this is actually going to aid more buyers to come into the marketplace as well. Right, so it has a quick sell-off over here, but going into the ETF for this, right, which is XLRE over here, right, we have this quick sharp sell-off, which now bounces off the 200-day moving average. The uptrend is actually still intact, right? So you may actually look for some long side opportunity for a quick bounce over here, right? Of course, remember now is the time to do everything on a limited risk kind of setup over here, right now. So look for a bounce off, right? That's definitely something I'll be looking at for tonight or tomorrow in the markets. Right, and another place to look for is really the oil sector over here. Right, the US oil fund has not done well for a long time now. It came off its high at $20 back in 2015 all the way down to 9.89 now, right now. But you can see $9 is a very critical level over here, right? And that's definitely a place that you can look to sell some put options if you can get some meaningful credits for that particular strike itself, right? So look for the oil sector to bounce, right? And since this is the ETF, so we are not so much oil specific, oil stock specific, but just in general, the whole sector, right? So I think this is a much better play right now for what we call a scalping opportunity. Right now, so that sums up today's video over here. We still have to take a look at what the market is going to bring for today's trading day. All right, the futures have bounced off a little bit from yesterday's sell-off. In fact, it's recovered from almost half of yesterday's sell-off. But what only matters is when the US market opens later at 10:30 p.m. Singapore time later this evening. Right, so I'll catch you again in tomorrow's update. But for today, right now, the tune is really interest rates don't work anymore. Yeah, all right. So the Fed strategy bounced back on them and they fell flat on the face yesterday night. Are we going to see a delayed reaction today, all right, where the market's recovered? That leaves to be seen, right? But the major sell-offs over here happened in the technology as well as the financial stock sector that led the market in terms of the sell-off yesterday. Right now, so this is Terence Tan. I'm Possible Investor, signing off for this market update that I'm bringing to all of you. If you like what I'm doing right now, you don't want to miss the next couple of videos that I'm going to be putting up on a more regular basis right now. Do remember to click on the red subscribe button over here on the YouTube channel, or remember to follow me on my Facebook page over here as well as Instagram accounts. Right now, thank you very much. I'll catch you in the next video.